news to make the news, if you understand what I'm saying. We want to show the appreciation to the farmer. We want more things to be highlighted with the farmers. In these times, it's best Jamaica learn to deal full when I yard, so we can export a lot of things and not import a lot as well.
Let me add this to what you say with them. Them say food are healing of the nation. Right now, a lot of people are dead from all different kind of things, and they must say it stem from food. So we need to support the local farmer because of them have the organic food. Common sense make it make sense.
Common Sense, make it make sense. Welcome to the Kommon Cents Podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe. Check us out on Spotify at Kommon Cents University, as well as on all our socials at Kommon Cents University as well. Today we are exploring why isn't farming valued like other professions. Stay tuned, stick around. We're going to jump into it. Before that, let's meet our hosts. We have Witta the legend, the great legendary. Witta, how are you doing?
Doing great, man. But before we go into it, let me just remind the Kommon Cents fraternity to go ahead and make sure you leave a like, comment, and if you haven't subscribed and been watching us, go ahead and subscribe. It's free, no charge. Just great entertainment and information. So make sure you do that.
Witta, congrats on your song Soulmate. Doing huge numbers, man. Love that, man.
Respect, I'm on that.
Yeah. Q, we also have the motivational speaker, Q himself. How you doing, Q?
Alive and kicking, just giving thanks. Salute to Witta and salute to the Kommon Cents fraternity.
Amazing, man. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump into the questions. And again, let's just remind you of the topic tonight we're discussing, we're trying to figure out, I should say, why farming isn't valued like other professions.
The question now?
Yeah, man, that is the question.
Because I forgot to it, I forgot to it. Believe.
Forgot. Yo. Anyway, so, we're going to start by breaking down some of the concepts here. So let's start with this. What comes to mind when you think of a farmer?
Well, for me,
yeah, man.
What comes to mind when I think about the farmer is, $3 million a year, big house, cottage. I'm saying this based on the recent videos that I'm seeing, and a lot of people think that farming isn't making money. You must be joking. So, apart from that, you have different type of farming, or different type of farmers, so to speak. But it is a business, a striving business, and people somehow look down on it because nobody don't want to get in the dirt and be a part of the hurt, and you know what I mean? I think there was a thing once was saying where you plant what you eat or something like that. Correct me. Here's a government man, so you probably know. But
anyway.
But farming is a good thing. It's a powerful thing. Jamaicans should definitely value it more.
But I don't know why you think he's a government man,
They look like one of them governments bridging this side. I don't know.
All right, Q, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think when you hear about a farmer? What comes to mind?
Well, the thing is, what comes to my mind is always an entrepreneur. However, in Jamaica, that is not necessarily what comes to mind. Because think about it, right? The farmer have on top earning power. If you really go into numbers as Witta was saying, right? If you really go into numbers, a farmer can make $12 million easy. 4 greenhouse.
Easy. When I agree with
4
the easy
greenhouse.
part, but continue.
No, 4 greenhouse.
Yeah.
Think about it. If them sell like 2,000 pound of pepper annually and them sell it for $350 a pound, calculate that.
Ja. Boss coming in maths.
But
Yeah.
what does I talk about opportunity? Yes, there's
Opportunity
other
is
things
there.
we can stop that. But the possibilities are endless.
I agree with you. When it comes on to the opportunity, and possibilities being endless, when it comes down to farming. As I say, it's an entrepreneur. Farmers are entrepreneurs because, they are definitely business owners, but you have the traditional farmer where, you see an old man with a machete and him clothes dirty. Probably
But the
in the
Listen,
in a water boot.
listen. I the trick that man.
That's the trick
Now I'm
that.
the old man there feed the community. Yeah.
Hey, you're right, You're right.
Nobody now beg him.
Uh, you're right. But that is kind of what the traditional view of a farmer is. In some instances, some people might view a farmer as uneducated when it come on to like, the traditional education. But when it come on to in crops, them
white collar
come on to
education.
that is it. That's why I said traditional education. We make sure we say that, because we don't want the comment section then deal with me, So I have to say traditional education. But when it come on to him crop them and it come on to the seasons and the dirt and the grass and the cow and the goat and the man they know from A to Z when it come on to them there's something there, right? So yeah. So definitely, there's definitely a stigma when it comes on to, what a farmer looks like. But a lot of times they are actually traditionally educated, go to university and then figure out like the chemistry and the biology of
Culture.
seeds and plants and yeah man. So you have them new breed of farmer right now, them have all drone and them something where you water them crops, you know? But yeah man, so there are a lot of different farmers. I know, as I mentioned, it could be agriculture in terms of food, or it could be
Mhm.
in terms of the livestock and stuff like that. You have different type of farmers. All right, but why you think a lot of people view farming as an undesirable profession?
Me or with her.
Go with it, Q. You with that first
So
definite.
think about it, right?
Yeah.
All of that come from the colonial days, right? Basically, it's a colonial legacy leave behind. So, as a man like Marcus Garvey said, but them teach that school, but I think people really get it. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery
Right.
because it is affiliated with that. Because a man I think on hot sun, a man I think about it remind him of that because of that we used to do in slavery. But the thing is, we never used to get paid for it.
Mm.
So people nowadays I tell them kids say, yo, go to school and you come work hard like the farmer man. Them use the farmer man as an indication of somebody who's not successful. You want on farmer? You don't want on lawyer and doctor and sit down in a AC and all of that. Well, sometimes the lawyer and the doctor now make as much money as the farmer will do it the right way. Because you have lawyers and doctors who now make money. But we're talking about the farmer with the on top of him game. And if you compare the lawyer with the on top of him game and the doctor and the teacher with the on top of them game with the farmer, him right up there.
That is true. And I like what you said. It's coming from the colonial days where, people associate farming with slavery almost, right? And then the other thing is that people see a lot is a farmer might drive a whole pickup truck. Some of them drive a new pickup truck, but for the most part, farmer drive pickup truck, or truck, or them have a bus, something that can carry goods, to and from the market or from wherever it's delivered, supplying it, right? But when you look at the doctor and the lawyer, they might drive Chris car. So that is the
And the
next thing
media
as
have a lot,
well.
and the media have a lot to do with that too.
Yeah, of course, because it sensationalizes a lot of stereotypes when it comes to those careers, right? But with what you think in your perspective, like what you think, they're seeing it as a less desirable profession.
Farming, first let me state by, farming is a freedom, It's a lot of people tell that just being with the soil give you that freedom and seeing something flourish from just a seed into a fruit and bearing, fruitful food. But
Yeah,
if
man.
you look on it, I remember the Vikings. The Vikings used to just fight just to have land to farm. So farmers are normally kings and leaders, if you go way back in history.
You're right.
So but bring it to our next level as well. A lot of job, not just farming, not just interject this, that is seen as looked down upon. Like,
Yeah.
for example, hairdressers. Imagine you're sending your daughter to go to school, college, everything, and she says she want to become a hairdresser. Family mad, them vex. You know what I mean? But you have hairdressers with hair salons moving money more than any teachers and doctor. Even the barber that the girl would look on and say the barber not no money and look for the man in the bank or in the AC. Good morning, welcome to. If you ever look on that, the barber is collecting and moving way more money than these persons. So, as I said, these are business owners and people understand this, despite the career choice that you make. Even an artist. Everybody say, once they say, no, I'm an artist, my eyeglass, man. It doesn't place value or a dirty boy, you go there with a dirty artist boy, or, you know what I mean? So a lot of the jobs that are not traditional, as I said, the colonialism as relates to that, because it's not seen as traditional, it's not seen as prosperous. But anything that you put your mind to and focus on, it can be fruitful. And farming is a current one that we are talking about. So, as I said, I agree with you, gentlemen. It's about it not being a traditional type of thing, and the mental that these ladies look on and say, boy, I can't buy that when I'm gonna come in a dirty khaki and dirty clothes, and you know what I mean? So they don't understand where it can go. And hopefully in this conversation, they'll be able to see what farming does and how important it is and how we should value our farmers of Jamaica.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Let me say one more thing I did.
Yeah.
When it's a farmer, first thing a man think of in Jamaica, all country boy, countryman. Right? So
that is the perception.
These things need to be changed. A little man in a ride a donkey with his straw, with a little straw bag on him back. That are the perception some people still have, even with the earning potential of farmers.
And I think what a lot of people, when you hear farmer, a lot of people just think, a whole heap of work, man. I feel dig ground and re. But what is not being highlighted is
mash up the bleachings.
Son bottom out. But you know what is not being highlighted is enough. And is what we need to do to change the mindset is we need to highlight the benefits of a farmer. Not only is it mentally rewarding, you can ask my wife, I like to plant things and just lay back and watch it go, but also the the financial aspect of it, right? Yeah, the financial aspect of it as well. That is very lucrative. So I think, we have to use shows like this to spread the word. Anyway, so what can be done to change the perception? Let's jump into that. Wita, what do you think? What we can do to change the perception? I think I just mentioned one, but...
Yeah, well, in anything, knowledge. And this is what this podcast is about, to share some common sense and some knowledge. So one we have to understand when people don't have the knowledge of something, they fear it, you know what I mean? They scorn it, or they look down on it. So first we have to think about the knowledge. How can we make sure they understand how farming can change life, how it can be a, a form of financial wealth? How can we maximize being a farmer and, you know, have more visual aspect of not just a man, a Rasta man, or a man from the country, but you have, I was watching this girl on Instagram, I don't remember her name. Hopefully I can find something and interject about her. That is a UE graduate, and she has quite a few acres of farmland and doing great, you know, and a lot of people, not just from Jamaica, but overseas, all over the world, is just fascinated about her. So first, now we're going to have to implement these persons in the social media, because we know the social media forum is where things are trending. So we have to make sure that young people see that having a farm and being a farmer is not all about chop the line and the clothes and this. Farming, all it take a 4 goat, you know.
You see me, so a 4 goat, me sell and come here, so, you know, go enjoy myself, you know. 4 goat, me sell and come here, so. Yeah, as a farmer, the Prime Minister come here, you know. You know, I'm a hold a bank account. And him come here and me can come here too. So my friend, where they work hard in a yam ground, you know, so you can sell some yam and come here, so.
To make you live like the Prime Minister.
Yeah, 4 goat do this.
If you know, you know. If you know, you know.
Yeah. But you know, no, I'm gonna interject that video, you know. But you know, I strongly, not strongly, but I like the fact that he did that because, you know, it kind of paint a positive light on farmers and you know what is possible, because you have a lot of people out there, as you say, you just mentioned bank teller, going to work every day, dress up nice and all of that, and them can't afford to spend a week in a Rio. I don't have,
Yep.
you know, I remember the P1, but you know,
I
by here principle.
I remember as well a famous American rapper, Notorious. You know, in his life story, there was there was a case where the teacher was telling him that he won't become anything, and whatever the case may be, he'll become a garbage man. And he went on the board and worked out what a garbage man earned per year versus a teacher. And the teacher was so insulted because based on what he worked out, the teacher actually earned $5,000 less than the garbage man. So people have to understand that it's not the job that you do, but it's what you make of it as well. You know what I mean? So it's about implementing, as I was saying, implementing some influencers in the farming community, sharing this on the media, the TikTok and so forth, to let these young people see that farming is trending worldwide, and Jamaica need to get to it, and we need to get to as relates to not importing so much, but we'll get to that as we go along.
Yeah, man, we get to
that. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. I feel like just spreading the word will help the perception. Do you have anything you want to add to that in terms of changing the perception? What we can do to change it?
Yeah. To add to what Wita is saying, right? I believe we can launch some media campaign onto farming, you know, to enhance it, right? I do think that we can showcase some success story, like what Wita say again. What you say? 4 cow. That is it.
4 cow, 1 cow. No, 1 cow.
Yeah, more success story, because we need to change the stigma. You know what I mean? We need to celebrate with farmers with national pride, you know, and stop putting them down. You know what I mean? In other words, what we need to do is think about the visibility what we can put on the farmers, you know, and the relevance on the farmers, because they are important. Think about it. For example, COVID, when things couldn't go how we want it to go, import and export. We have to rely more upon local farmers in a lot of cases. You know what I mean? They impact the prices. You know, so they play a very important role. Very, very
Absolutely.
important role.
Actually, I wanted to expound some more on that. So how does farming contribute to society?
So we talk about what?
Well,
I'm
Q, you don't
trying to
have to answer
remember the
still,
slogan.
but
Oh, Q. Okay, go ahead.
go.
Sorry.
All that thought. All that, just stick up in. We'll see, come back to you.
When you think about it, right?
Yeah.
People talk about can't providing for themselves, right? May I go back to the man with the straw bag,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the cutlass and the straw bag, the straw hat, and the cutlass and the donkey. You ever hear my beg nobody yet? When everybody in our community I say them not have, them I look down upon him, you know. You ever hear him a beg nobody
A
yet?
farmer.
Yeah, you ever see a farmer beg?
It might be a shot around, but
No. Don't do that. It might got a bar with a dirty hand.
Yeah.
Say that. So
A farmer always have money for real, man. A real talk.
now think about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
We export coffee, right? We
What is thing in
export
Jamaica? Coffee.
Blue Mountain coffee. We export sugarcane. We have all of them coconut water and banana chips. You know how much jobs, I'm not even going on how much income that bring in for the country, right? The other day, my guy sent me here and some young youth me see with some trucks and cars and bus, and them now run taxi. Acres a land. While some people are do building, them are do farming. Now, the local farmer not only help with their own income, but think about the hotels. Them provide the hotel them with numerous products, right? And Jamaica to itself is a brand. So
Yeah.
farming, apart from tourism, farming is up there. You probably have the numbers, but me, as a man, will just give it to you just the way it is. Farming is very important because it provides job, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically for me,
Feed
I
people.
believe you for experience the rest. I got too in depth, but the main thing it will provide job and is a well built in thing for a lot of people in Jamaica. You have a lot of billionaires and millionaires in farming out of Jamaica, but them rich and not talk.
We like that one. All right, what you to say? How does farming contribute to the society?
Society without nourishment or food is a starving one. So let's look at that. It provides food for the community.
Number one.
That's like the main thing. You touch on some things. It's also provide jobs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It helps build a lot of infrastructure. A lot of farmers, I know in Brownstone, own a lot of these buildings, high-rising that we see. You know what I mean? It also helps to persons who understand farming and what it is. It helps them to be independent. You know what I mean? Shortage, a lot of things can happen and these people have it. You know what I mean? So when the pandemic happens, these persons have surplus to sell or for their family. So it helps cater to their family. So it does do a lot of things.
Yeah, man, a lot of positive impacts.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, and as Q mentioned, tourism. But if you want to play out what, just to show you the role a farmer plays, look at let him call him name. We'll just say a banana chips company, right? That is located in a parish next to St. Anne. So if you want to look at the impact of a farmer, right? A farmer plants, they plow the field and, they plant them banana tree and thing, right? So that is one job right there, the person that is planting. Because sometimes another farmer, even though it's the farmer, that's their job, they actually employ people, right? So you have somebody where plant the banana field, you have somebody where maintain it, sometime at the same person, you have somebody where reap it, again, sometime at the same person, and then the banana can't walk from here to go over this, right? So it have to walk, the banana if you move from here and go over to the factory, right? So when you reach at the factory now, somebody a wash the banana, somebody a peel it, somebody a cut it up, somebody a so that I want next bag of job where it provide again. And after it done, it turn into banana chips and package and box up and nice and all of that. Somebody has to deliver it again to probably a distribution warehouse or probably a store, right? And then somebody have to come and take it out of the box and put it on the shelf, right? So there are so many different ways that one farmer has impacted jobs.
I can add something to it.
Yeah, man, of course.
Remember chronic illness, because farming and just about banana chips, about, as what we just say, about nutrition, right? Climate change, youth, as well as youth employment. And the most important thing, what people ball about in Jamaica all the time, price. Food a go up, price a go up.
Plant your own food.
There you go, the guy in the market and them say that short, that raise.
Yeah, man. So there's so many impacts that a farmer has on society, but definitely I appreciate you guys answering the questions. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with more after this. Common Sense, make it make sense.
Inviting everyone to invest in Jamaica's agricultural future. Invest in land on our agro parks available in St. Catherine and Clarendon today at agroinvest.gov.jm. As low as $20,000 per acre per annum.
Yes, Common Sense, make it make sense. You know what I mean? We took a break and we're here just to talk a little bit more as leads to why our farmers are not valued in Jamaica. And it's a topic that needs to be discussed. But before we continue, let me say thanks for joining us. And if you're here before the break and you're still here, thanks for staying. We have a lot more discussion to do. And if you have any topics that you need us to discuss, please go ahead and leave it in the comment section there, and we'll definitely make it our priority to discuss it. And tell us also about what you hear us talking about, if we're making sense or not at all. We want to hear your opinion. Don't be afraid. Comment your opinion. We will definitely read through and see how best we can relate in the next episode. So we talk about the farmers and how important farmers are just before, and why are they seen as not valued, or why the career of a farmer seems like it's not something that to entice many others. And we talk about ways that we can implement to make sure this is not the case. Q mentioned along with me as it relates to how we can start a campaign, push the social media, push some influencers, some farmer influencers who are doing big things. Not only persons in their 35 and over, but persons even younger. Because we do have a lot of young farmers. I think there's a YouTube program that is there. I won't call it a program. I would say a podcast that is there with, I don't remember the name, but the little YouTube farm with his father and so forth. I think we'll interject a clip about that. So farming is something that is a big business. It's not just making the money from the field, but it's also making money on YouTube, people watching your farm. Look at it now.
Really?
Jackson.
Yeah.
I tell you, man, you look like you have a couple of acres of land running one place, running part. You look like them, brother. Rich and
I wish. I wish.
That's what you say.
I wish,
Again,
bro.
congratulations on your book. You know? What's the name of the book again?
Millionaire Syllabus.
So me I talk about. You see,
Available on
there
Amazon.
people. You must say,
You
Mush,
see,
you book
I
them
said
right.
just set me up, you know. I said just set me
Yeah,
up, man. It's all right.
So let's talk about the economic focus as relates to farmers, you know?
Yeah.
How has the agriculture GDP role affect its value versus tourism? You know? Let's read.
Wow. All right. So you're asking about the impact of farming versus on GDP versus tourism.
Mhm.
Well, I think tourism win that one day still,
Well, let's
tourism
talk
win that
about.
one day. But I feel like we can definitely do a lot more, right? One of the things that affect GDP is also well, that's exactly what you're talking about. How much we export, right?
Mhm.
So there are a lot of things that are a lot of potential cash crops that you can call it that we can export, right? So beside the yam, which I think is one of the main one, you have coffee as well. We still do sugarcane, surprisingly, right?
Why surprisingly?
Hey, when last
Go
you see a
ahead.
cane field? When last you see a cane field?
In the boat, man.
Hey, I know them still about it. I think you probably have a few down in Westmoreland side and probably Clarendon. But I remember growing up in Montego Bay, you didn't have a whole heap of cane field we used to drive through all out of Bogue and them places which part the new pond where them build the new the sewage plant. I
Mhm,
think you
mhm.
had you had a lot of cane. Anyway, I feel like there's so many cash crops, right? You have pimento as well. You have Scotch bonnet pepper, ginger, but as it relates to
Pimento,
affecting GDP,
spices, you know what I mean? Mhm.
yeah, man. So in terms of affecting GDP, though, there's a lot more we can do. And one of the things that I try to do as a Jamaican is whenever I go to stores and I see like because they have African yam as well, right? And they have a
No, I
different
didn't
type of
know that.
banana and stuff. So you see the
Mhm.
people in the diaspora, what I'm asking you to do, me know say a little bit more expensive. I mean, the Jamaican banana a little bit more expensive, right? But support Jamaican products, because at the end of the day, you spending a little extra to get a Jamaican product in your pantry or on your shelf or in your grocery bag, as you call it, right? That is actually providing for a lot of persons back home because it boosts the economy and it encourage the manufacturer to hire more people to produce more of the goods, right? So that is one way we can help our country. So if we really want to help the GDP as people in the diaspora, whether you're in England or Jamaica, or you're in Canada or US or wherever, right? Buy Jamaican, right? Now, this does not exclude, our very own people that are back home, right? Because some man love run down American apple and, some American fruits and them thing there. We need to eat the Jamaican fruit them. Support your local farmers, you know? I mean, no bother people Romaine lettuce where you go at the supermarket, you can see that it has like the tag and it's made in, I think it's California, most of those Romaine lettuce. Some of the almonds and stuff, it's come from California as well. And I'm not saying not
Mhm.
to buy anything from overseas, but you need to make sure, so every time you go supermarket, you buy Jamaican products because that also help with GDP. It helps
Funny
with
enough,
supporting the
people can
economy.
comment me in the comment in the comment section and let me know if what I'm saying is factual. But I don't remember seeing a lot of Jamaican apple juice in Jamaica. That just come to my mind.
I think I saw
You talk
True
about
Juice.
Jamaican apple.
Maybe True Juice have that. The OTET apple or the Jamaican apple. I think I've seen True Juice with it, but
You
you're
see, that's the
right.
thing. I don't want to say we think we have seen. We have seen a lot of different American apple juice in the market.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
All different type of brands, etc. But you mentioned the apple and that came to mind. But go ahead, please.
Yeah, man. That's kind of what I'm saying in terms of GDP. That's how we push the GDP, and overall, I think farming has a much bigger part to play than what it's playing now, because we're still importing a lot of stuff, a lot of grown, not well, I'm not say grown produce, but yeah, we are importing grown produce because there's grown produce, right?
Mm-hmm.
Garlic is not, well, it's not growing at the ground, but we know, so we import garlic, we import thyme. There's a lot of stuff that we can grow in Jamaica that we are importing. And I'm not saying we shouldn't import it at all, because I understand supply and demand and all of them things there. And we don't want the price them skyrocket because it's not available. But at the same time, what I want to see more of is people supporting the Jamaican products them, right? By the Jamaican time, go down a market and check Miss Birdie. And, buy 2 pound of yam, 2 pound
So yeah,
of
you
Irish
didn't know Miss
potato.
Birdie too?
I mean, man.
I just recall. I think Churros does the apple Jamaican authentic
Yeah.
apple juice. You know what I mean? But we need to see more of these products, more of these blends on the market, Jamaican products, because trust me, Jamaica is a brand in itself, and these products will sell massive in different countries. So we definitely should look into that. Let me talk to Q for a minute, Q. As it relates to how do food import impact appreciation for our local farmers? What do you think?
So one of the
Food
thing,
imports.
one of the thing we want to say, right? We want the mindset change, and the lifestyle, we want to change the concept there, because here what we want to look on farming as sustainability, independence, and lifestyle, right? Because you don't want to look on farming as something for fall back onto. We want to look on it as something where youth them can see, them can go into, make a future. Because it's a form of wealth building, right? Freedom, purpose. Go back to your question now. We get a little bit carried away. My apologies, sir.
That's okay. Yeah, I mean, you're one of the person on the program when it comes to speaking words of wisdom, and I mean, parables are. We look forward to those food for thoughts, and we are talking about farming, so why not food for thoughts? So I was talking about as it relates to how do food imports impact the appreciation for the local farm.
Well, when you think about the amount of money we make, for example, in poultry, Jamaican boilers in 2019, I believe, make over $3 billion, right? And remember, them support local farmers. In a yam, in a 2000, I believe, 23, we make over $40 million US exporting yam, right? When you think about the typical, like, how much the earning, we talk about it before, like the earning power of a farmer, right? I want to be a little bit more precise here, so just give me 1 minute, maybe just explain something to you. When you talk about poultry, it's a different market. When you talk about yam, it's a different market. When you talk about greenhouse and vegetable, it's a different market. When you talk about cannabis, it's a different market. And most of the big companies them don't really do farming themselves. The local farmers them, once they meet the requirement, can submit them thing and them buy from them. So endless possibilities. So we have the school have to educate the kids them from a tender age and how we'll know about nutrition and all of them thing there. Little greenhouse, little thing at the school, because some farmers are not big on going back and re-educating themselves right? So because the opportunity is there to make so much money, as you say, about exporting, things have to be ready.
Yeah, because as we talk about how it has really impact them as relates to importing, and I think that's what you're bringing out when you said when we are able to do so much and yet still go ahead and import, it impacts our farmers like we're not appreciating what they're growing. You know what I mean? So I guess with those amazing figures that you just talk about, come on, Jamaica. And let's take him to a point to Jackson. Jackson, I see you drinking out a green cup, sir. You know what I mean? Nice green cup. I like the Jamaican colors that you're wearing today as well.
Yeah,
you know
man,
what I
matching my shirt, you know?
Let me say this now, right? Those figures that I mentioned, right?
Yeah.
Is with all the importing that is going on in Jamaica. Right?
Yeah.
Those are mostly exporting. So if we feed the nation, because the 40 million we talk about that are exporting. So if we feed the nation, maybe the 40 they turn in at 80, maybe that 3 billion they turn in at 20 billion. So the more we import, and more we keep with the little man them food.
Exactly what I was getting at. No, with Jackson, I was talking to you about you came out fully in your Jamaican colors, man.
Oh, yeah, going this now.
No, man, I'm just saying that I see it and I'm seeing it and I highlight it. You come on, you're no. I see that you're representing, you know.
No, just Jamaica. Yeah, I represent Jamaica.
Yeah,
Always.
yeah. Don't get fearful. Don't get fearful. Because I reason. Kommon Cents make sense, right? No, as relates to, I call you the government, man. I don't know. You just look like one of them person who I would actually vote for, you know? I'm just saying. Look like you're related to Obama. I don't know.
Boss, man, ask a question no matter someone.
So, Jack says, want to hear the question right off the bat. But, we have to entertain the people, Jack. So, come on, man. Now, as relates to the government, do you think that there's more that the government can do as relates to what you just mentioned, a lot of imports that are coming in the country, and focus zeroing on our farmer to make sure that we do more export?
Is there more that the government can do? I mean, let's take a look at what the government is doing.
Hold on. Before we go further, hit the notification bell. Unintended. Go ahead.
Make up yourself, Mr. Green. I know you're there. All right. So, as we were saying, right, we're talking about what the government is doing. There are a lot of programs out there. You have the PIP, you have RADA. You have a lot of programs out there that the government has implemented to help with farming. Now, if you're not familiar with RADA, definitely and you want to go in farming, I'd say that's your first step. Go on the RADA website and look at the plethora of information and resources that are available. One thing that I didn't know about, like they sell every fruit tree where you can think about. If you want Julie mango tree, if you want coconut tree, you want which other tree them have? Because I only them two things them like, If you want the apple tree, if you want orange tree, banana tree, all of those things are sold. And it's sold at such a reasonable price, unbelievable prices, right? And it's accessible to the farmers. If you're in livestock, they also sell like the local baby chicken them. Yeah, man, you can get all of those at reduced costs from.
So you're saying that currently,
yes,
the government is doing enough to assist farmers?
No, I'm telling you what they're doing. That's a question.
So we are aware of some of these programs that you mentioned, but we're still looking at the the fact that we are doing a lot of imports versus export. So,
Well, yes.
so
that's
where I'm getting at.
I'm going to get to that. You have the DBJ, you have the JBDC, and you have a bunch of different grants as well that you can get.
Farmers who plant ginger, turmeric or pimento can now access funding from selected financiers following the signing of an agreement with the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Jamaica Spices Project. It's part of a multi-million-dollar effort to revive the spices sector. Details in this report.
Spice farmers can now access loans from one of three financial institutions. The firms First Global Bank, Lasco Microfinance, and Carbine Capital Investments signed an MOU with the U.S. Department of Agriculture Food for Progress Jamaica Spices Project Thursday. According to the minister, the United States imported about $230 million worth of ginger, turmeric, and pimento in 2023. Disappointed, he said, Jamaica contributed to just over 10% of it. In 2023, however, Jamaica exported 306,000 tons of spices, amounting to $740 million.
RADA provides training as well. So they're not just give you the seed and give you the plant, they also train you on how to inspect it, how to spray it, when to spray it, and all of that. But anyway, so there's a lot of groundwork that is being done from our agricultural industry, for the agricultural industry by the government. Now, what else can they do? Now, I think maybe what we can focus a little bit more on is, ensuring that we are aware of where the opportunities are, right? Because it's one thing to say, all right, you want to stop importing, but do you even know what we are importing? Right? So as a farmer, how are you going to say, stop import food? You don't even know what is being imported, right? So that is where you start. So one of the things that we do import that I think we can grow is like corn, right? We do actually import sugar, like cane sugar, right? So even though we produce it, most of what we produce is actually exported. And the reason why that is because we need the US dollars for, ensure we sustain the economy. And long story short, we have to import sugar. So I think there is an opportunity right there, in the sugar
Even
industry.
more with the new tariff that was given out to quite a few countries. Even more than now, right?
I mean, so when you say tariff, how would that affect what we're? Because the tariff would only, I guess, get applied if it goes to the US or we're importing from the US. I don't think we're importing cane sugar from the US. I could be wrong, but I don't think that is the case.
There's a lot of things we do import, though, right?
There's a lot of things. So as I mentioned, you have corn. We can't grow corn in Jamaica. Right? There's a lot of flatlands in Clarendon and all over the country that we can grow corn, right? There's sugar cane, as I mentioned, that we still import. There is also rice, So you have rice. What else is there? Let me check. They have soybean oil. I think we can grow soybean, but it's kind of expensive based on what I heard. But, again, there's a lot of opportunities for us where we can really utilize, the resources we have to ensure, number one, that we know what it is that we're actually importing and also what it is that we can actually grow from what we're importing. We also import chicken. Yeah, apparently we imported a container of chicken recently.
Is that case that you think that we are not able to do this mass production, so we have to draw for our fellow next door neighbors?
No, we definitely can do the production, but Q. What you say?
So when we think that government can, some of the things that like you're saying, I think the government can help with that in terms of promoting research and innovation, right? Supporting, expanding certificate. Them have the thing that we mentioned, but provide more information on certain things, right? Another thing we think them can do is upgrade the infrastructure where we have. Also, help to stabilize the market and the prices. Another thing, the land and the capital, them can improve accessibility and everything there. Because a whole heap of land you drive a Jamaica and you see, like just bush up and here's our government land and nothing go on with it. I think we can do that because with these things, right, I think it's a game changer for farmers. So instead of we just talk about what the farmer they do, because I think the farmer they do a lot with the resources that they have. Because one of the things we don't want here is the Chinese farmer them come forward. We don't want to hear the Chinese farmer them forward. Give the man them opportunity. Yeah? Because it boosts the economy.
Probably there already.
And also create job creation and food security. So give the man them, help the man them, right? Not just for say, rather give them to seed and them thing. They help them to be ready for export. You know, make the man them know say, yeah, now the farming, we have land. Come, forward, we have land. Yeah, we have infrastructure because the man them still some of the man them still use them pickaxe stick and then cutlass and all them thing there. You know what I mean? We are talking about exporting. Certain things have to meet certain expectation. There's a lot more they can. Yes, we appreciate what they're doing, but there's a lot. I believe that there's more they can do to improve us to be on that level. You know what I mean? Include we learn about certain things in agriculture in school, but go deeper. Start from there, go deeper in school. Push it.
Yeah.
Push it. Yeah, we have JIS that talk about certain things, but push more of those things on TV. You know what I mean? More development programs. Because we have the people who are willing to do it. And look at us right now. Even we make a difference. And we do believe that other people will do the same. And salute to the man them out there. What do them think? I say a youth, you talk about a lady, I say a youth will say, a millions in make off a Vibes Cartel show. All I'm checking them sell out. So, and he was young.
Yeah. Good vibes.
So the young youth, they're doing it. But we need more.
Love that reasoning, Q. Thank you so much for sharing your views on this. And also Jackson. So Jackson, we're about to take a break and go to the question with Q. But let's look at this. As relates to does the rural farming create a disconnect with our urban population? You think that's where, you know what I mean, farming is seen as rural and it create that disconnect, and a lot of persons who would want to get involved and endorse it from the urban areas, the population.
I'm glad they asked a question because I did have something. I had something proper English.
That's okay. You're speaking Jamaican, sir. No problem. Yeah. Go
ahead. Hey, remember, I am from Hanover Bush, so my patois different from everybody else's patois. Anyway, so what I was saying is, what I was saying is, right, I'm happy you mentioned that because there is actually a new thing called, and I think Floyd Green was talking about it recently, hydroponics farming, right? And it's hard to explain actually, but it's like it's instead of planting in the ground, you get a thing that goes in the air, fill it with. I think, now that gives the uptown and the urban centers an opportunity to participate in the farming as well. Because we know some of the apartments them are Kingston small, you can't find one little corner where you get little sunlight.
We have some outskirtings. We have some outskirting area land where we can use, but the land space there, a country. I think one of the main things is transportation, right? And storage facility. and proper irrigation system. Them
Yeah,
thing they
man,
will
but
need.
that's on a larger scale, which
No,
you know
we're talking
that's
about the
really what we're
government.
talking
No, we're
about.
talking
So,
about the government. No, we're talking about the government, what them can do to help.
mhm.
Because some of the land most of the land them are torn dry.
Not just in town, even in country too. So
No,
going
country have
back
like
to Vita's previous question,
remember Ochiris have 8 rivers,
and not Ochi alone a country. You have other
No, but just
countries.
give you an example. Remember say
Ochi
Ochi
a
have 8
country, but you
rivers.
have other places
So
that are country.
so what I say is with proper irrigational system, both country and town can utilize those things. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
the
But
land where they are,
I'm just saying, Q, it's not just irrigation. We understand what you're saying, because irrigation is key to farming. But
I'm hearing what you're saying and
you
we
need
understand
water
what
for
you're saying.
irrigation.
Hold on, no. We understand what you're saying, but we're talking about what we can do both in country and town.
I think you was just
to enhance the
adding to some things based on what you were saying, Jackson.
Yeah.
So thanks again, Q. No, as it relates to Jackson, you were saying that a lot of persons in the rural area do have small spaces as well, and I think you was mentioning that there are some outskirt lands that we can as community come together and see how best we can take advantage of it. But you are also giving some ways and means that persons in the rural area can also contribute, whether it be on their patio or whatever the case may be, to look at farming to then be a part of the movement, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Is there any way, as we mentioned, the disconnect, how we can make sure not just them being a part and doing a little farming, understand how farming contributes? Is there any other way you have in mind?
I think you covered it in terms of like the GIS and the different media outlets available. But besides that, obviously we can play a part. We are playing a part right now by discussing the topic. But other media houses or other social media spaces can play a part by just spreading the word. You know what I mean? There's a lot of way of getting into farming. One of the things that I noticed, being a country person or being a countryman, right? Yeah, whole heap of envy in the country, When I say whole heap, I mean like enough claim to land in your country, right? And a lot of these persons, it's just that they already have something else going on and they don't have time to farm it. So if you're a town man and you want some land in a country to farm, man, drive go any country and talk to the people. Go to the corner shop and say, yo, you are going, so me come from down the road and actually I try to get something for farm. You don't know anybody with a lease piece of property will make it a farm, pull up a farm and just lease a piece of property and do
that
your
will
thing.
in turn even give jobs to the community. So
there you go, because somebody have to watch it, because you can't just lease it and go and back a town, left it, say,
I'm glad
pretty lasting is real.
I'm glad you said that, Jackson, because
a
lot of people don't know that you can lease land. And for leased land, it's not expensive. You don't have to own the land to do farming.
Especially country land.
I know a man where plant acres of yam. Acres. Right? But he never plant one for himself. He have people where I work, but at least he lease the land. And most people that think him have money, but he just use some of the resources that was available. So that's why I'm saying, government can help in that area to say, these are the lands are available for leasing. And this is how we can go by getting it.
As you mentioned that, there's another way, right? You can partner with local farmers as well. So if you have the resources, the money, right? When I go on it. So if you have the money, you have a piece of money, instead of invest it in a DB&G or the highway or whoever you want to invest it in, you can go back country and say, yo, farmer man, here I go on. Now buy your 10 head of goat. I just go and raise them for me. You understand? When the money comes, when they sell the goat, then we split the income.
Dangerous game to play.
Dangerous game to play, but it's possible. Right? Especially if it's somebody that you have family in the country.
Business can be done, and once persons understand that you just don't start business like that. You do it the right way. Get contracts, get agreement, lawyers, etc.
Just
You know what I
like that.
mean?
Don't leave that
So
out.
you don't want to take it up on yourself and say, boy, I'm trust him, so I give him to buy 100 cow. And when you realize instead of cow up a mass channel, when you go up there, there's just some empty feel out there, you know? So, if you're doing business, approach it the right way, you know?
Yeah.
Get your lawyer, draft up your contract, do your registration and do it the right way. And of course, if you do that way, then you have the law to protect you in any case. So love these ideas, gentlemen. We'll take a break and we'll be back. And Q will take us in more depth as list. So, value in our farmers. Common sense make sense. We'll be right back.
Common sense make it make sense. Gentlemen, salute. And again, salute to the farmers and the Kommon Cents fraternity. But, Jackson, what do you think we can do to make farming more attractive to young people in terms of a career?
In terms of a career, I know that they teach a bit of farming in schools. I think we mentioned it earlier, but I think that's a good place to start. In schools, because again, I mentioned this on the last podcast, but we don't control, for the most part, we don't control the information that our kids are getting, right? And they get a lot of their information on social media. So where we do control it is in the schools, right? So if we're able to add some additional, curricular activities, and it's something that, maybe the schools or the government can partner with the farmers to say, all right, here we're going. You see the grade 8 agriculture class. You see for that agriculture class, you take a field trip and go up on a farm. Right? And you see how the farmer raise goat and how them raise cow, how them plant yam, and you see all of that. So, I think there's a lot of things that, the government, I guess the government or schools can kind of integrate into their curriculum that helps them to get a better perspective of what the life of a farmer is. But obviously, yes, social media, but, again, we don't control that, so we can't even pressure that too much.
Thank you. What are some of the things you think we can do or suggest to make farming more attractive to young people?
Well, we talk about how we can make sure, at least to farmers be more visible as relates to their success story. We know that farming is a very difficult career path, but at least to how farming, the success stories and the different persons, not just persons from the country, but persons from the rural, persons who, it's not just a farmer, but as relates to, importing, exporting, who play different roles in farming. If we are able to showcase this to our fellow generation, to let them understand how interesting it can be, how beautiful it is, and how productive it can be, I think it's definitely a win there. It will be a win for the country, and it will be a win for us in the future to come.
That is true. Also, young people, watching the Kommon Cents podcast, we never hear how much money we say the farmer them make. But now if you go so hard on the phone and do other things, the farmer them make millions. Them rich and not talk. To add to the gentleman them said before still, community-based training, leverage from marketing, media technology, as I don't know if it's Kemar or with one of the gentlemen them did talk about partnering with local institutions like art and all of them things that make the certification process be much easier.
Right.
Government support. government can do more. Even though Jackson said they might do more, but if we want the farmer them to do more, we still want the government to do more.
Indeed, we all can do more to make it the future bright.
It's a team effort, right?
That is correct.
I think we did touch on this, but we're going to go back on this. What role media play or can play in farming? What's up?
Well, the media is the eye. The media is the eye of our world, you know. And as being the eye of the world, we have to be careful what we put out there, because the media can influence a majority. And in this world, you know, media is very powerful. It's a medium of where persons just speak freely. You have all these different platforms that they can voice their opinions. I'll take us to TikTok, where in China, the TikTok algorithm only deal with production, engineering, etc. They make sure they filter the algorithm for how they want their society to grow, cleaning up after, making a mess, etc. And that is a way. We don't want to say we are doing it like Canada and many others, but we want to make sure that we know what we put in the media, because that also affects. So media putting, as I said, just like what I made mention just now, by putting persons who are main influencers in the media, who does farming and how it changed their life. If the media highlights and make it a trend, you know, there's so much trend that are making it in social media, some silly dances, dance moves, and etc. If we start a trend, what have you planned today? It's as simple as that. That's how simple you can have a viral. It just takes someone who is influential to say that or do that. So it's about finding some of these influential persons and put them in a campaign, as we made mention before. What have you planned today? Show us something on your planned. We see the talk of Big Breeze and Hometown and all these different type of things in our culture and other cultures that become trendy. These are some of the things that we need to push.
Thank you, sir. Jackson, what do you say? What do you think the media can do?
I mean, you know, in addition to what Wita explained, which is those are absolutely great points. Young people them gravitate towards technology, right? And there are so many technological advances in farming that it's mind-blowing, right? One of the things that I've seen, and I mentioned it earlier, is the drone technology, where they're using the drone to spray the plants. So they have the drone fly over and spray the plants and stuff. Young people, like there's a lot of young people that currently, I don't know how to fly a drone. Put that out there, right? But my son know if he do it, right? So like he can literally have a business where he's flying drones for farmers and spraying those plants for them. So instead of the farmer have to walk through the field, and no, we're not looking about thinking about replacing jobs and all of that. We're not getting at that right now. But you can go and, you know, spray the crops them for the farmer, just pay him a little thing and him come spray them for him. So like young people, you can get in farming that way as well, right? Besides that, there's a lot of technology as it relates to harvesting technology that is being implemented right now, that the older generation, right, are struggling to understand how to use it. Because as I say, some of the farmers them make some money, right? Them can afford the technology, you know, but guess what? They don't know if we use it. So sometimes we need the younger generation to come in and help out these farmers in terms of, you know, using and taking advantage of these new technologies that are available to help them to increase productivity and increase profits as well. So that is my take on it. But again, media plays a great part, because, you know, without, you know, us highlighting these different technologies and stuff like that, people don't really know about it because them now look for that. Them not look for the new TikTok dance, you know? Them not look for farming technology. So that's not in their algorithm. But yeah, people like us, we're looking at everything. So anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Respect. One of the things, as Witter and Jackson said about the drone and TikTok and all these things, right? I think media can give people access to information. I think they can bridge that gap, right? You know, little reality TV program like farmers, like the people that we are talking about right now, you know, are they on the farm? I think also rebranding, you know, as we talk about campaign, but rebranding the image, the media have the power to do that. Because if the media want boycott an artist, the artists get boycott, right? So if we're rebranding and use media, not just in terms of social media, but also the radio, the TV, you know what I mean? Talk about developments and programs. I believe the media play a very important role because cartel sing about clocks. And look what happened. You can imagine somebody like Cartel starting about farming.
That's true.
No.
Well, we have to look at the next thing, you know, you're going to sing about farming and farming goods raised, you know. Got to leave farming alone now, man.
No, that's why we say the government have to implement ways for control the price. You know?
Yeah.
But that's true with the thing I gone through the roof.
Yes, a carrot there, no, and you can't tell us things a carrot around the place.
Money by carrot.
How can educating helping people in farming? How can education help the benefits and all of that? Educating the people. Remember rephrase that.
Yep.
How education and educating the people can it benefit farming for the country and the world farming aspect of things.
I mean, you know, knowledge is power, as them say, right? So I think when people understand the value of farming, you know, they'll respect it more, right? So, you know, again, I think we're doing it justice in terms of letting people know that, okay, there is definitely a career, not just I was it you Q that said it. It's not a fallback thing. It's not just a fallback thing where you say, all right, you want to go, I'm do me 9 to 5, you know, but more race to goat in the meantime. So in the morning before me go to work, me move me goat them, come home from work, me carrying back me goat them, you know, or me raise 2 chicken, feed the chicken them before me left, and them kind of thing. It doesn't have to be that. It can be a full-blown thing where this is your source of income, right? And if you take it seriously, then you can partner with a Jamaica Broilers, or you can partner with a St. Mary's banana chips, or you can partner with, you know, one of those like a Walker's board, Walker's, you know, the one up at Ochi up in the hills there. Yeah, we sell the seasoning them. Yeah, be sure they're not plant pepper. Yeah, they're not plant pepper, right? And they're not plant onion and scallion. They make season, they're not plant them something. So farmers partner with companies like that you know have those innovative products that they need farmers to partner with to bring seasoning to them, right? So them have a pepper farmer, we are bringing some pepper. Them have an onion farmer, we are bringing some onion. Them have a thyme farmer, we are bringing some thyme, right? And you know, me have to congratulate, me call him Walker's Wood, right? We have to congratulate him because people like that actually create.
I wonder why
I have to give them a promo, man. Yeah, man.
Anyway. Them flowers.
I give them flowers because I'm not lie, like all the time. I don't know, so me love barbecue. Me I say barbecue. Me I use next word. The chicken, the J chicken there. Yeah, me love. Yeah, so me always have them seasoning in my fridge, like 2, 3, 4 buckle. Right, I know me have the spicy one. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, me have to congratulate them and give them flowers because they are working with a lot of different farmers.
Yeah.
Right, them have a pimento farmer we're carrying the pimento come in as well, right? And all of that goes into that one little buckle as seasoning. And all of those farmers, all of those lives are impacted. But anyway, saying that to say, right, you have companies like that you can partner with, where you have exporters that are exporting stuff as well. And as long as your
You
stuff
talk
up
about
to
giving the
par, you're good to
flowers.
go.
Just to interject, you talk about giving the flowers before I forget. I will dive off to the next question. Let's give the flowers to Youngster. He tried that. He came in with that movement as
Yeah,
the
that's true.
farming. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So
About
big
the
up to Youngster who pushed that. And I saw a
Yeah.
lot of farmers came out then and share their journey. So big up to Youngster.
I feel big up Damian Crawford too, you know.
True.
Here we go
Yeah,
again.
man. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Because at least he's one of the politicians that is known for. I think he is a farmer by profession. Actually, I don't know if he do anything else. Besides, obviously, he's he's a parliamentarian or he's a member of parliament, right? But I think his profession is a farmer, right? So he's
I didn't know that,
obviously
that many
a
didn't know
very
that.
intelligent person, and I'm sure he's intelligent enough to do other things. But he has decided to take the route of farming, right? No, him have anyway, yeah. So him have livestock. Him have a livestock farm, as far as I'm aware. Yeah.
Wita, how can we educate people about the benefits of farming?
There are numerous ways. We did discuss a few of them. Starting a campaign, infiltrating the media, not just media platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, as relates to the country, sending trends, pushing more about farming in schools, pushing community initiative as relates to farm that feeds the community. You know what I mean? Each community should have a farm. You know what I mean? And we have means and ways to protect it and flourish it. You know what I mean? These are different ways that we can push the knowledge and trends about farming. Having more farmers visiting schools. I don't think I've ever seen a career day with somebody saying they're a farmer. Comment in the comment section and let me know. See a lot of police, teachers, you name it. So those are some of the ways that we can actually make sure our youths understand how important it is.
As I said that with her, it's the next career day. We hope we remember still, you know. But next career day, I dress up my kid as a farmer.
I like the challenge.
I have to make one of them cardboard machine the film, but
You see the same thing, the stereotype of a farmer.
no, but you can't go in a jacket and tie and say you're a farmer. It's not gonna look you know, you have to sometimes you
Yeah,
have
I
to
understand the
stereotype.
characteristics.
Normalize the
Yeah,
thing, Jackson. Normalize the thing.
That is it.
Yeah, it is
Normalize it.
okay.
There is nothing wrong with the machete and the water boot.
Yeah.
True.
Nothing wrong with it.
I remember for making go the drone too.
And the flannel shirt. And the drone. All right.
I hear because I'm going to deal with, right?
Yeah.
So the man them touch upon so much things where me that say, come like the man them cover everything. But we talk about making it be a lifestyle, branding like what Jackson does talk about. You know what I mean? That is very important. Normalizing the thing. Yeah, because it's a career. Man can tell me a different career apart from farm where a regular man can make millions and billions. Mere people are talk about. Think about it.
Sorry, is that school transcripts? Sorry, that's a question and thought there was a buzzer. Big up that youth from school transcripts. Anyway, again.
Fried rice and fish. And that's the name right now. Big up Alex.
I tell you, I've been saying this so long. The man will sell soup on the roadside. I don't know, money that man full load, Don't show me soup, man. Don't show me.
I said nobody for soup,
Listen, soup and feed the nation. Soup and feed the nation. No. But the soup and the porridge, as simple as people may look down on someone like that. Big up Eggy and man, Eggy.
Yo!
Eggy right now have different cats all over the 14 parishes.
Yo, Eggy has saved lives, bro. Coming from party, Eggy in the early morning there. You get your egg your
was just one cat, right? I know Eggy have many.
What you say? A real thing?
Franchise business gone.
Big up yourself, Eggy. Who if you have you have a face man with have a cat, a soup cat, right at Orange Street or so. Orange Street or so? No. What are the name?
Near the gully there, man, right? I guess.
Yes, man. That soup that body, man. Jeez and peas. If you get some more cat on the road. If him not have it already.
Man, years. And I care who you get can come talk over his soup, Principal man.
Boom!
Tell them to go buy somewhere.
When they lock the pot, a serious thing. Maybe people big up for themselves,
So there's some humble, as we're answering your question, Q. There's some humble career that person's really working to and punching numbers and putting the time into. And it's better than working in the bank or teaching. But we need everyone. We need everyone and every career make a part of the community.
If I may. A successful farmer, man, we're dealing farming realistically. We'll focus on it and put him all night. Them same can earn from 5 million to 20 million per year. When you think about this, right? How much youth are going to be a successful dancer? How much youth are going to be a successful artist? You know what I mean? But what it takes to be a successful farmer, these are the things we need to take into consideration. But interrupt you with I'm not staying along upon what you say. I'm jumping, but they just want to say something quick.
Oh, but what you're saying, like I said, it's wisdom. It's all truth, so it's all welcome. Well, big up my farmer Bridget Alex, I want to support the whole hotel industry. Rich and dark.
The man have the river over there, so have the farm over there, so.
You know what I mean? I say Q, yes, we're about to close and everything, but I just want to say big up to the farmers. You guys are you ladies. You're doing great, and we should show more appreciation. And we hope that with us having a podcast like this could help to stir this conversation, so more light can be shed on the appreciation, and even start a trend of more discussion like this as relates to our farmer. We have done it before. We start a trend of conversation, whether it be the rare topic or topics that need to be discussed. And this is one of them, and we hope persons who are listening and are a part of this take this same clip and push it same way in all your vlogs and so forth, because we don't have to wait on the news to make the news, if you understand what I'm saying. We want to show the appreciation to the farmer. We want more things to be highlighted with the farmers. In these times, it's best Jamaica learn to deal full in a yard, so we can export a lot of things and not import a lot as well.
Let me add this to what I say with her. Them say food are healing of the nation. Right now, a lot of people are dead from all different kind of things, and they must say it has them from food. So we need to support the local farmer because of them have the organic food. Common sense make it make sense.